cannot have a Knights Council in any parish unless the parish priest approves. Okay? So, who are we and why are we? And are we something Catholic? So in our discussions we talk about a booklet. These men they call knights. How many of you remember getting this booklet when you finished your first degree? How many of you read it from cover to cover? How many know where to find it at home today?
That's mine.
I couldn't find mine. I had to borrow one from mine.
I got some extra ones to pass them out.
I want it.
I guess one of the questions we had was, how does this booklet fit into something Catholic? And most of us probably remember that it contains information about our four principles: charity, unity, fraternity, and patriotism. And we practice charity, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But we use the strength of the principle of unity to speak out for religiously grounded moral values in a culture that has forsaken them. Knights who go on to the second degree learn more about that principle in that exemplification. The third principle is fraternity. And through the Knights of Columbus, men are able to band together as brothers to help one another in times of distress, sickness, and death. When we attend the third degree exemplification, we learn more about that principle. And of course, patriotism is the fourth principle. And that's the most visible arm of the order that the public sees, because they see the color guard in full regalia at many public ceremonies. So, who are we? Why are we? Are we something Catholic? In this booklet, we find several statements about who we are. And I'm going to quote these verbatim. The bedrock upon which Columbianism is built consists of the truth of the Catholic religion. These include the 10 Commandments, the 7 Sacraments, grace, 2 kinds of grace, sanctifying and actual. Actual grace helps us to do good and avoid evil. The precepts of the church, baptism, Pentecost, capital sins, and gifts of the Holy Spirit. Let us dwell for a few minutes on actual grace. What is it that we do that's good? In the booklet you find a lot of information about what the International Order does. For example, the Knights of Columbus granted $3,000 immediately to the families of each of the firefighters, law enforcement officers, and emergency service personnel who lost their lives in the terrorist attack on the World Trade Center. The first check was delivered within days of that tragedy, and it was given regardless of faith or membership in our order. The Pope-mobile. Many of us have seen the Pope-mobile somewhere in time or another. That was provided by the Knights. And if you go through that booklet, you'll find a lot of other examples of what the Knights have done on an international order. Okay? And we have a beautiful church here. Knights of Columbus provided a mortgage for that church. The Knights of Columbus are the largest provider of church mortgages in the world. And on a local level, the international body does not dictate to us any of the charitable programs or activities as long as we maintain conformance with the 4 principles. So, mostly we know about the activities that are on the sign-up sheets at almost every meeting. But there are individual efforts made by individual members in support of the parish and the community. This council donated money to the building of our new church a few years ago, and we were told that our contributions help pay for the 4 columns in the church, and that these columns represent our 4 principles: charity, unity, fraternity, and patriotism. I'm probably preaching to the choir here, folks, but You know, just as a reminder, we provide a free meal every Thanksgiving to members of this community, regardless of their faith. We provide scholarships. We support our youth through the Squires and youth activities, such as the soccer shootout, basketball free throw contest, and Little League baseball. We have a Christmas party for the kids and an Easter egg hunt for them also. And we see our brother knights as ushers and Eucharistic ministers and lectors at every Mass, not just the first Mass on the first Sunday. And we're active in the Respect for Life activities. And we support efforts to help disabled children. We can all say that we are proud when we say, I'm a Knight of Columbus. And that statement can be an evangelization of our Catholic faith because they know us by our deeds. If you have not found some activity that you want to support that's sponsored by the Council, then we encourage you to seek out something else. St. Vincent de Paul, prison ministry, where you're helping folks who are in jail. Anything that is really of benefit to your fellow human beings. And here's the part that I really want to ask you. Okay? If in your heart you really feel that all four of the principles of the Knights are personally valuable to you, then you should seriously consider taking the time to attend all four exemplifications. I'll quote Pope Paul VI regarding the Knights. He said, "The glory of the Knights of Columbus is not based on humanitarian works alone. Even more admirable have been your insistence upon the supremacy of God and your fidelity to the Vicar of Christ. In truth, you can call yourselves brothers because you call God your Father and have declared yourselves ready to do His will and serve His cause. The Knights of Columbus is an immense force for good." So I think we truly are something Catholic. We have information in here, like a lot of things. Sometimes we go back and read our Bible and other things, and we find things that second reading and so forth gives you more depth than the first time. So I would encourage all of you to take the time to seek out this booklet and take the time to read it and be informed about who we are as Knights, and be proud of the fact that we're Knights, and think very seriously about moving on to full knighthood by doing all the degrees other than just first degree. Thank you for your attention. I'll be glad to try to answer any questions that anybody might have.
Great job.
Thank you very much. Hallelujah.
Thank you, Miles. You're on the clock.